Hello and welcome to the British Dapper, and today we're exploring London's fashion, style and trends. So today you join me in my London club, and I've been here for about 3 days attending a series of sartorial events and meet and greets, and spent some time with Ash Jones from the Chap's Guide and Raphael Schneider from Gentleman's Gazette and a young lad, James, Gent Z. And it's been a lovely experience this time in London, and over that 3 days I've taken the opportunity to walk around London and see what the current styles and trends are, and Savile Row and Jermyn Street and the surrounding areas, just to see what the current vibe is in London and what people are currently wearing, and also, more importantly, what the tailor houses are now looking at introducing into the mainstream as part of their collections, especially now we're heading into autumn. So one of the first things that really stood out for me was the use of utility jackets and their interpretation of it. This is a trend that I mentioned a few months ago about in Italy. It's a big thing for men to wear safari jackets and along with a contemporary look, and it's actually a very nice look indeed. Now this is transposed into London, where a lot of the mainstream looks nowadays are centered around unstructured jackets, which affords a little bit of flexibility in the way that you wear them. You can wear them, mostly they are designed for a casual wear, but we now see that creeping into a little bit more of a formalized look with the introduction of tweed. So a chore jacket which has actually been constructed with tweed, so still a very good look. And I noticed a number of tailor houses on Savile Row had their own version or take on that, along with a version of the safari jacket as well. So very, very much high trend at the moment, and some lovely tweed jackets about at the moment as well. So, and they're cut on the sports side as well. But they are more on the country look, believe it or not, with the pockets, more patch pockets with flaps, and almost like a safari jacket but made out of tweed. So very much on the shooting style, very similar to the Norfolk jacket. But that is another trend that seems to be very popular at the moment in the windows of those famous tailor houses on Savile Row. Another area, corduroy trousers seem to be prominent everywhere at the moment, and quite brightly coloured ones as well. So we're talking about those burnt oranges and those mustard gold and sand colours coming through, along with some Levat green corduroy trousers and moleskin trousers now coming to the fore as well. So another really nice look coming together there. Obviously there are the suits that are still out there, and a suit very much, I haven't seen any major changes in the designs of suits. See a few gauntlet cuffed suits, they look really stunning as well. And some of the sartorial events that I've been attending over the last 3 days, I've met a number of people. Shout out to Tom, who I had a really riveting conversation about tailoring with him, and also my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to John, who's now considered to be a close friend. And so here I'm just going to give you a few looks of things that we saw whilst we're out in London, out and about. So one of the most striking things I noticed when I was walking around Savile Row was the amount of people still wearing safari jackets, whilst in the late part of the summer we're seeing linen and cotton based safari suits being worn. I did notice when I was walking around a lot of the tailor houses, looking in the windows there, the displays were along the lines of introducing a tweed version of the safari jacket, and it was very striking, almost like the original Norfolk shooting jacket type look, but using dark brown tweeds and patterned wool fabrics. But I also saw a lot of the utility type jackets being introduced into the mainstream for a lot of the tailoring houses, where they were looking at jaw jackets, for example, that were, instead of being made out of cotton, they were introducing heavier tweed patterns as well, and it gave it a very good aesthetic and quite common. We've seen this in a lot of places now where it's becoming much more acceptable to wear a jaw jacket, especially the heavier tweed versions of it, and quite a good look all round. So something else we saw while we were out and about was a lot of corduroy out there at the moment, and whilst corduroy suits will no doubt become quite common again this season, the cinnamon coloured corduroy trousers is quite prominent in most of the window displays for most of the tailoring houses that I frequented. I would say that sand and those light greens and those tobacco colours were quite commonly seen in the windows for the corduroy trousers, and I think they'll go really well in the autumn period, which obviously a lot of the window displays are now geared towards demonstrating their winter ensembles and selections. But the other thing that was quite common to see was the amount of wool tartan ties and the use of heavy tweeds, those heavy thorn-proof tweeds being used in jacket constructions. And the types of jackets being used, if you think back to the early 70s, were quite wide lapelled, and that was quite common to see that as well, along with 2 and 3 button versions of those heavier tweed materials, and they ranged in colour from light greens, sandy oatmeal colours, to all the way through to much darker coffee and chocolate colours, with highlights going through them of oranges and ochre colours going through it. The final thing that I'll touch on is the amount of heavy coats that were on display. So when we talk about the British warm coat, I've demonstrated that before in quite a formal setting, but also how it can be easily dressed up in a more casual setting as well. So very typically a military style and cut, but also those lighter colours coming through from, instead of the navy colours that we traditionally see, saw a lot of greens in there. Loddon green was quite a common sight, along with those chocolate browns. They seem to be quite evident as well. So I think this season's going to be a really nice mix of those autumn colours, including quite darker colours being used this season. So I think we're looking at darker browns and the odd hint of a lighter colour in it to show that tweed pattern or the overcheck pattern that's being used. So it's just a short video here just to give you an idea of the things that we saw, the style and the trends that are currently about in London whilst we were walking around and exploring the place, Savile Row and Jermyn Street. And I think it depends on what time of the year. There are key times in the year where you can really see some marked changes in style. So we've just come out of the summer period and the windows are full of autumn accessories, jackets, wool coats, and so it's just reporting that back to you now.
So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe, then please feel free to do so. We have a Buy Me a Coffee page, so if you'd like to make a contribution to the channel, then please feel free to do so. We also love constructive comments, so if you'd like to make some, jot them down below. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. And if you've got a question you'd like to pose to us or you'd like an answer to, then why not jot it down? We'll try and answer your question for you. We also like ideas for future videos, so if you want to make a contribution and make a suggestion about future content, then please again jot it in the notes below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. The next video could be something that you've recommended or suggested. So until next time, take care.